Go.
Good morning, class. My name is Miss Napravnik, and I've been invited here today to talk to you about the effects of unhealthy eating and the risks of obesity. We're also going to discuss ways we can arrange our daily food intake so that we're building good habits and we have a healthy lifestyle that contributes to good health. The first thing I'd like you to do is split up into pairs, and I want you to talk to your classmate about what you think some of the ill effects of having a poor diet on a regular basis could be. So I'm going to come around the room after a couple of minutes, and I'd like to hear your answers. Okay, class, it's been a couple minutes. You had an opportunity to discuss healthy habits and how eating a poor diet can impact your overall health. I'm going to come around the room and I'd like to discuss with your pairs the answers that you came up with. Obesity. Yes, perfect. Great. We're going to be talking about that today. Right. You might have low energy. That's very good. We'll discuss that at the end of the lesson. And what did you decide? Chronic illness. Perfect. We'll be discussing that today too. Those are all really good answers. Okay. Thanks everyone for taking a few minutes to discuss with your partner what you thought some of the ill effects might be of having an unhealthy diet. Someone did mention obesity, and the first thing we're going to do is discuss obesity. We're going to define it. You're going to leave today's lesson with a clear idea of what that is, and we're going to talk about how that can best be avoided. So obesity is the condition of having excess body fat, excessive body fat to the point that you are at risk for some chronic health problems, and we're going to be going into that a little bit today. Okay, so as we're going through today's lesson, what I'd like you to do is think about how your ideas about the risks of obesity are similar to the information that we're going to be going over in our lecture today. So we've talked about what it means to have healthy body composition. That's commonly referred to as BMI. And healthy BMI helps you avoid chronic illness. One of our pairs did mention that. And some of the chronic illness we're looking at with an unhealthy BMI is something like metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes. Having healthy body composition also helps you avoid the risk of heart disease, cancer, reduces risk of other chronic illness later in life. And also, even now, as a young person, having a healthy body composition can help you reduce the risk of bone fractures and asthma. So thinking about that, let's consider how having a healthy body composition also contributes to you having better energy and better ability to perform physical activity. If you're at risk for bone fractures and have a problem with something like asthma, you're probably not going to be able to participate in PE or sports the way you might like. And that would only compound your issues with your body beginning to store excess fat. Another thing we want to think about today with respect to the importance of avoiding obesity and a risk of obesity is it can lead to some sleep problems, including sleep apnea. Sleep apnea can be dangerous because it puts extra pressure on your heart. And as we just mentioned earlier in today's lecture, you're already at risk of heart disease if you have unhealthy body composition and you're storing excessive fat. Something else that might be often overlooked is psychosocial problems. So when we're thinking about that, we want to consider that someone who maybe can't perform sports or isn't sleeping well because of their body composition, they might have low self-esteem, and that can lead to bullying and issues with anxiety and depression. Okay, so we've discussed some of the risks of obesity and why it's important that we would avoid it, and how we need to stress the importance of having a healthy body composition, maintaining appropriate body fat levels. And now what we're going to do is split up into groups of 3, and thinking about what you've just learned, I want you to discuss how having adequate nutrition and making sure to emphasize healthy food choices can support a healthy lifestyle, and how avoiding obesity is critical for long-term health. I'll give you 3 minutes, and at the end of the 3 minutes I'll come around the room and I'll see what answers you've come up with. Okay, class, thank you for sharing your answers with me about the importance of avoiding obesity and how having good nutrition can contribute to overall health. You all had some excellent answers. What I'd like to review with you now is the 5 food groups and how incorporating those in each meal and making sure that you're making some balanced choices are going to help you ensure that you are having overall good nutrition each day. So the 5 food groups are grains, vegetables, fruits, dairy, and protein. And the protein includes meat, fish, eggs, nuts, and beans. If you're making a meal, the plate should consist of 50% grains. You want to choose whole grains whenever you can. Meats, you'll want to make sure that you're choosing lean cuts without the skin if possible. Dried beans, peas, nuts, and fish are better choices than other meats, and you'll want to choose those the most often. And dairy is important because it helps promote strong bones and teeth. And some people don't consume dairy for ethical reasons, or maybe some people have an allergy, and then in that case it's okay to choose something else like fortified soy or rice milk, as long as you're making sure you're getting adequate calcium to support the growth of your skeletal system. And everybody's favorite, 5 or more fruits or vegetables daily. So most people don't get enough of these on a regular basis, and there are a lot of chronic health issues that can be avoided just by making sure you're eating enough produce on a daily basis. Your best bet is to choose a variety of colors. Some people say eat the rainbow. 1 serving of vegetables is a ½ cup of cooked or raw vegetables, or 1 cup of raw leafy greens like spinach or lettuce. And 1 serving of fruits is a ½ cup of raw, canned, or diced fruit, or 1 piece of fruit, so a medium-sized orange, apple, or banana. So knowing about the 5 food groups and how choosing to use those and incorporate that knowledge into your daily food choices can help you make good nutrition decisions, especially here at school when you're buying lunch from the cafeteria. I'd like to go ahead and split you up into pairs, and you're going to brainstorm about some meal ideas, some really simple meal ideas that you can come up with for lunches that are going to support what we just learned about the 5 food groups. Okay, those were some great answers that you guys gave me about the 5 food groups, and some really simple, easy ideas about some of the foods you can make on your own even, that would incorporate some of those good choices and help you get adequate amounts of whole grains, fruits and vegetables, dairy, lean cuts of meat. And I appreciate some of those ideas. There were smoothies and sandwiches and vegetable wraps, and those were really great. And it sounds like you guys are synthesizing what you've learned here today. So with that information in mind, we're going to go ahead and conclude today's lesson. And I appreciate everyone's participation. You did a great job. Thank you.